welcome to the Boldcastify football show. We thought a new opening would be appropriate. A little throwback. Give you an overline. We're going to talk about the NFL, a little news and notes, and of course, the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is episode 10 of the Boldcastify football show. Let's get it. I'm Clay.
I'm Jace.
I'm Justin.
All right, let's get at it. So, around the league, it looks like old Greg Roman got a couple pink slips.
It was quick. It was real quick.
2 games into it, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Because was he there last year?
Yes, I believe. I'm pretty sure he went there after Harbs left San Diego. I mean, San Francisco. No, I'm saying San Diego.
Well, if there's anything that's going to instill confidence in the coaching staff, is sacrificing your coordinator 2 weeks in.
Well, I mean, at least they did it earlier.
Barely. It's barely a week and 4 days.
Is that better?
Well, I would assume so because that way that you can establish some stability through the rest of the long season.
I feel like if you're firing somebody week 2 into the season, you probably had a hunch you wanted to do it before.
Probably.
So it's only bad. It's just bad.
Well, I mean, there's conversation. Nothing's confirmed because obviously it came out today. And I believe Vic Carucci, who works with the Buffalo News, I'm not 100%. Yeah. But anyways, he's saying that it maybe the Pagulas, the owners of the team, who kind of started pushing for it. But Rex came out today and said he did it himself. It was all him. So
Rex Ryan also said that he would be the first guy to go if it's not working out.
But we all know that's a lie, though.
So, they looked like trash. Shady McCoy ruining my fantasy team for the week. So I can get behind firing Greg Roman, but
yeah, I mean, I just personally don't think the offense was the worst part last night. Honestly, in those atrocious red uniforms, I honestly think the defense was.
Yeah, they look dumb.
They do. That's not Buffalo style. They need to stick with what they know.
Well, let's be honest. I mean, I just hope they suck the rest of the season, especially when we play them.
Well, Jason with his fire takes.
You don't even mean it because you've got LaShawn McCoy on 3 different fantasy teams.
I know, but I'm a Duval Jaguar first. Fuck fantasy.
Well, I hope that they're terrible at least one game this year. But beyond that, I need LaShawn McCoy to get something. At least get to double digits. That's not asking too much for a running back in fantasy. I got 8 points from LaShawn McCoy.
That doesn't sound very good.
It's not, actually.
Especially when he's projected to get like 12 to 13.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's actually terrible.
If I was like most of the population and played fantasy, I would probably know better.
But, let's be honest, though. If they're not a Duval Jaguar, I really don't care.
Duval Jaguars are the new name of the team. I like it. So, in other news, the Saints went ahead and cut ties with Speller.
Yeah.
Not much of a loss, but I mean...
Get him! Go get him! I'm just kidding. Don't go get him.
I think they gave him a bonus or something right before they cut him.
He didn't really do much at the last stop, and he definitely didn't get a chance to do much because I don't think he was even...
Yeah, his last stop is what we just talked about.
He didn't really do much ever. He's had one season.
Yeah, I think... What was that? 2014?
Maybe.
Yeah. But, odds are he's probably not much better than Denard Dog at this point.
Yeah, he was like that, but he was a bigger fantasy tease.
Yeah.
Because everybody was like, he's going to put up numbers. Yeah, just you wait and see.
He was a first-round pick.
Just you wait.
I know, it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
That's what happens when you get those Clemson picks.
Yeah, him and Crabtree were one of those guys that I was really wanting in Jacksonville.
Crabtree? I could understand that.
Yeah.
I'm fine without Crabtree, though.
Well, now.
Yeah, now.
But come on. Let's be real. 2 years ago, we would have grasped at anything.
Anything. Picked up a Jerry Porter, probably.
Jerry Porter 2.0. That's a hot take.
Jerry Porter. That's a flash. Anyways, I guess we'll move on from really mediocre running backs because we already seen a few.
Yeah. I think we got a few on the Jaguars team.
Let's go hit up a few fines around the league. There's been some heavy ones delivered in week 1.
It's everybody's favorite thing.
It is. And I'm glad these aren't being handed out to me because this hurts my pocket just looking at it. Antonio Brown was fined $16,000 for twerking.
Wow.
I know, that's a bit
And-
steep.
Hold on, and for having some Yeezy cleats.
that was him?
Well, apparently, I think. I
think that was
may be wrong.
Hopkins.
Hopkins had some too.
They were sweet.
I think he had like a blue pair.
Oh, okay.
Like blue and gold, and Hopkins had like red and blue or something. I don't know. Or all
No
of it.
fun league. So how much for twerking?
So let's
It just
split
they
it in half.
it's
So about
five.
$8,000
I don't
for
know where they
both.
split it.
So about so
They
that's
just
gotta
together.
be like way less than the fines they handed out for the Broncos for their hits on Cam Newton, right?
In fact, it is not much,
Okay.
But enough.
but a little bit less. The Denver defensive players, Darren Stewart was charged $18,000 for his couple of helmet shots.
Is he the one that torpedoed himself?
Yes, I believe so. I'm pretty sure he's the one that airborne. And then our former linebacker,
That's what I thought. I thought Brandon Marshall was one of them.
yes, he was charged a whopping $24,000.
Yes.
And of course, he said afterwards, like, "Bro, that's a little steep. I just lost some big money."
Those are the cleats.
Those-
One of the pairs.
This is great
Yeah.
radio, but I can tell you, they're good looking.
Yeah, Jason's showing us a picture. Yeah, it's not really coming across the radio.
Show the
but-
microphone.
Yeah.
Show the microphone.
Those are sweet, right?
Yeah, making sure everyone can hear it.
Yeah. If they made noise, I would let you guys hear it, but they don't. Sorry.
But the cleats are interesting, to say the least. I mean, they're dope, but I don't know about for cleats.
But my biggest frustration is like, what the hell does it fucking matter? Like,
I'm gonna make sure to make this as a explicit podcast.
I mean, I understand you want to keep the logos, you want to keep the
Team
uniform, team colors.
Right. Team colors is key.
If you have your socks, you could have the exact same socks you're supposed to wear, but if you're wearing them down,
Yes.
you get in trouble.
Yes, I think I remember reading about that.
Didn't Gratz get fined for having his socks down?
Yep. They're very, very particular, as I explained to Jason last night.
Kind of Pentecostal youth camp nonsense is that? That's super strict.
That is,
dress code.
that's pretty
That's
much on point.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're pretty well there. Wrap up the fines here. When Aaron Donald, the Rams defensive tackle, had his little hissy fit on Monday Night Football,
Oh man,
I wish I saw that.
it was quality. Who was it he was trying to choke out?
I can't remember.
Patton or whatever. I want to say it was a mediocre 49ers wideout. But anyways, he was trying to choke him out, and
Yeah,
he got. And then he elbowed a referee, I think. Elbowed or bumped into a referee. Anyways, long story short, he got fined for $9,115 for unnecessary roughness, and another fine for $12,114 for unsportsmanlike conduct.
So was it unsportsmanlike conduct on the player or the referee?
I'm assuming the unsportsmanlike conduct was for the referee. I'm quite certain
That's hilarious.
because they don't mess with the
I
referees.
wanted to elbow a referee, and I'm not even a player.
The roughness came from a hit on Keenum earlier in the evening.
it's the new champions of our sucks to suck segment because any team that their overall record over the last 7 years, they're like one of the only teams that would make me feel better as a Jaguar fan.
The
Their
Rams,
coach
yeah.
is Jeff Fisher.
That does it right there.
They just got shut out by Blaine Gabbert.
That is pretty bad. Rams still haven't scored. Los
Man.
Angeles Rams still have not scored since Christmas Eve.
They've scored as many points as the St. Louis Rams this year.
Ooh.
Yeah, good for St. Louis. They're keeping pace.
They are neck and neck.
Sucks to suck. I mean, that's
the team right there. Sucks.
That's that, and I hear rumors or rumblings, whatever you call it, that they are offering Jeff Fisher a 3-year
extension.
Wow.
Just makes sense.
I guess they decided
mediocrity.
To toss Brockers that extension.
No. He made it clear he's not going 8-8 this year, or 7-9,
or 8-8,
or 9-7 for that matter, or 6-10, or 9-7 for that matter. He made a point to say that. I think he's keeping his word. I don't think he gets anywhere close to 8-8.
He actually said this.
Oh yeah. HBO
on Hard Knocks.
After he cut somebody, he said 8-9, 7-9 trash.
It's the
best. The door.
It's the best part of Hard Knocks. It's Jeff Fisher acknowledging his mediocrity streak, and he's going to break his streak this year because that team is going to win 5 games tops.
Well, I don't know. Clay and I were discussing this earlier. I believe the backup will finally be the kid they drafted number 2 overall. So that's a positive.
He's moved up from 3rd to 2nd on the.
Well, I don't even know if he was 3rd. I think he was not. He wasn't even active last.
Yeah,
last
I don't believe
week.
so.
Right, he's considered the 3rd quarterback right
well,
now.
Well, I think that's a positive because I'm all for starting the kid.
Well, you should watch Hard Knocks.
He's pretty atrocious.
I know.
It's not just that; he just looks overwhelmed.
Yes.
Well,
he didn't even know which way the sun rose.
Yeah, it's a long.
But not many people do. I mean, let's just cut the BS.
What?
I mean,
they moved, and that's disorienting.
Well played.
It's true.
So
it took a lot out of him, even though he.
He didn't have to take the move. But let's. I mean, he probably went to a public school, so I mean, let's cut the BS.
It's California.
Cal Bears, is that supposed to be a good school? Cal Berkeley?
Yeah, Berkeley's supposed to be.
No, I'm talking high school. You don't learn what direction the sun comes up in college, bro. You're supposed to know that in like middle school.
I would hope before that, but
middle school.
Middle school is definitely where you learn.
Yeah.
If you don't know about middle school, I mean, I would hope they give it to you in middle school.
Sex ed and orientation to the sun, and
I mean, here we'll give you one of the greatest clubs in Hard Knock history.
I'm not fucking going 7-9, or 8-8, or 9-7.
Is this the Cole version?
Okay, or 10-6 for that matter. This team's too talented. I'm not going to settle for that. Okay, I know what I'm doing. It's some 7-9 bullshit this morning. Now, Deion's gone. That is 7-9 bullshit. Okay, we don't need it.
All right, so I'm.
It's just priceless. I mean, we can't help it. I mean, that you can't make this up.
So we're putting an explicit one on this?
Yeah, we've definitely have. I mean,
Jason's potty mouth.
Well, Jason's potty mouth already put it over, and then Jeff didn't help either.
Fuck Jeff Fisher forever! Ever!
Yeah, he's a pretty shitty court.
He is shitty as hell.
I'm so glad that things are going the way they are for Jeff Fisher.
No, it couldn't happen to a nicer fella.
Yeah, somehow he's managed to fuck over 2 damn teams.
He's good at that. But I guess we'll wrap up with Rams news. I guess since they were tossing Jeff an extension, they decided to throw in one of their other defensive tackle that did not get ejected. Rockers got a $33 million extension with
he's not
18
mediocre.
in guarantees.
Well, and then this is what kills me. What about the offensive line that kept Case Keenum upright this past Monday night?
Cam Robinson's a bust. That's trash.
I don't know what happened to the talent there. That's one of those teams that, like, a couple years ago, their defensive front looked like
And
one
their
of the
offensive
scariest.
line too.
Their offensive line was
their defensive line looked like one of the scariest defensive lines.
Line.
It was
Pretty good.
not so much.
No, they let San Fran and
Blaine Babbert.
yeah.
Did you see that clip?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. I just it messes, it screws with your head when you think about it, because like Blaine Gabbert threw a couple times, had like 67 yards before the half, and they managed to win by what, 34 or 36-0. Like it's like,
I think it was 28. I mean, let's not like get it twisted here. Blaine Gabbert did not
do it.
He's still Blaine Gabbert. Let's be real.
He has gotten a little bit better, but not that much at all.
He blamed pretty hard out there.
Yeah, he still should not be a starting quarterback in the National Football League.
No,
but I mean, look at the other option.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
that America hater. I don't want to get into that argument.
That's another story. I mean, we've kicked that dead mule across the.
But it's growing. It's growing now.
Yeah, I guess more people are doing it.
I think the Eagles, as a group, are going to do something next.
I've heard all kinds of stuff. I saw it on my Facebook. No, we're doing it. Let's not do it. Let's not talk about this.
No, I want to. I'm kind of cool with the locking of arms and solidarity.
Okay, we're going to talk about this, and then we're going to talk about Barack Obama's birth certificate, and then we're going to get back on track.
Barack Obama's birth certificate. I heard today that this is a football show.
How did this happen?
Exactly. Well, I do know apparently the Dolphins did something during the first game, and now Miami PD or someone with Miami Police Department
doesn't want to.
Is apparently now not wanting to do Miami games anymore.
Doesn't want to.
The police departments across our country are all pillow soft all of a sudden.
Pretty much.
It's unreal.
So there's that.
It's just confusing. That's all.
Well, I guess we'll wrap up with a little bit more just of NFL news. Raiders got a little bit of a step towards Vegas.
Oh, yeah. A step, more like a light year jump.
Nevada committee approves the $750 million.
What a punch in the dick it would be to lose your team twice.
Twice. Not once, but twice.
And it's more likely going to happen.
Yeah, this pretty much puts it over.
But I mean, the Raiders are a different thing. They're not tied down by a location.
No,
man.
they transcend. Yeah, they definitely transcend.
They're translocation.
And I also think it makes it, they get a little closer to the border too. So that's a plus. So they can have more games over in Mexico and whatnot.
I don't think it matters. I think anywhere they play, they're going to have a crowd.
Yeah, I mean that's the Raider Nation. I mean, people have also talked about the fact that it's closer to their LA base.
Yeah.
Because it's actually closer.
Yeah, it is actually closer.
No, it's definitely closer to LA.
Yeah.
Have you seen the pictures of the stadium?
The Vegas?
Yeah.
Yeah. That is pretty intense.
That away game is happening the second we are scheduled.
I'm pretty sure BCB, or without BCB, we are going.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah, I mean,
Duval wrecked that place.
I've seen. I don't think some people will come back alive.
No, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure there'll be a body count.
There's only a couple games that it's like, oh, that's a guaranteed. Bold City Brigade's going to be all over that kind of game. Like this year, it's kind of split up. Some are doing Tennessee, some are doing LA. But like the second they do an Atlanta game, that's lockdown. We are going to take over AT&T.
Yeah, I'd say Atlanta. I'd probably say New Orleans just because of the festivities.
I'd love to do New Orleans.
Well, New Orleans would have done last year if it wasn't crappy weekend or crappy week.
Yeah, I think me and you talked about doing possible, but I think it was around like the holidays or something.
Well, that's the point. Yeah, it came right after Christmas or whatever.
Yeah,
that's why.
Which is kind of tight for everyone.
That's why Cap kind of dicks that one pretty quick.
Which is fine. We were busy filling up Tampa Stadium for him that year.
Yeah, we covered a whole. I mean, that's probably the best game they had all year.
But honestly,
like number of years.
Yeah, number one is Atlanta. To me, that's the next giant trip.
New stadium too.
Vegas might be the next one.
Oh shoot! Yeah, the new stadium. When does that open next year?
It opens next year.
Dang,
that's Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
But yeah, the only way it's going to work out though is if we both finish first place. So the only way it works out though, the only way we could possibly play them is if we both finish first place.
No, they're in a different conference.
Oh, you're right. So there's like almost no chance of us playing.
we won't play them next year. We'll play them in 3 more years because we just played them last year, unfortunately. Unless we do a preseason trip.
Yeah, it's not the same.
No, it's not. I'm just saying.
Only if it's the third game.
Yeah,
that's the only way I'd go.
But I was going to do San Diego this year, but got talked out of it to go to a family reunion that's not even happening. So there's that.
Pretty late.
Bummer.
Yeah.
But that's definitely one I would like to do because, well, we'll be LA next year.
Yeah, well.
Other news. We'll move that here in a minute. But it looks like the Raiders are one step closer to becoming Las Vegas.
It looks like the league's they're getting what they want.
Right.
Because, they've got the 49ers in the Bay Area, so they don't need Oakland in the Bay Area, too, for their whole TV market plan. And they lost St. Louis. Boo-hoo, they'll cry about it now that they're in the second largest market in America.
That pretty well balances it out.
And then you add Vegas, a brand new market.
Yes.
Yeah,
the only thing they're complaining about is somewhere in the 40s. The television market?
TV market?
Yeah, it's somewhere in the 40s. It's actually under us, I believe.
Hey, it's good to be better than somebody because,
there you go.
Portland's better than us.
But I think
as a TV market,
I think the money there is much larger. So I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it will go up. I mean, they're about to get a hockey team also, for some reason.
But I mean, it's one of those things that's like I hate to see an area lose a team.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But at the same time, it's nice that another city gets to take another team, and hopefully they keep it for the next 20 years or so.
And it does suck that Oakland has only had 50 years to get a new stadium. That's tight window.
That is rough.
How do you fit that in the state? How do you fit that in your city budget? In half a century.
I mean, you have that short amount of window.
when your whole state declares bankruptcy, that's how it works. You start losing football teams.
San Diego found a way to swing one of the sweetest baseball parks in our country, and
maybe they just love baseball.
Maybe they don't need.
They may love baseball, but their baseball team sucks.
They do.
That Padres are non-existent.
They're like the Jaguars of baseball.
Pretty much. But I guess we'll step on there, and our last subject for the NFL section is what do you think about Roger Goodell doing the $100 million in funding for neuroscience and engineering?
I think it's a farce.
Look at the helmets and everything and uniforms.
I think it's
concussions.
I think it's to get them to look at the problem, but not at the actual problem.
It's kind of unfair to Roger Goodell because whatever he does, I'm going to be like, well, that's not genuine and it's just lip service and yada
yada. That's kind of my thoughts of it. Anything he does.
Maybe they'll look at the helmets and realize using the same helmet every week doesn't actually change the possibility of a concussion in any way.
Right, and actually go, guess what? We can't actually use 2 different lids.
This is just silly. College kids are using different helmets every week, and there's not an abnormally higher concussion rate for college football.
No, Clay, what did you tell me about yesterday? It's control. That's what it is. It's totally about control.
Well,
yeah, it is. But I mean, the NFL was still doing it beforehand.
It's also the big difference.
They want to control.
The big difference is the NFL has been sued.
Yes.
For concussions, whereas every college in the United States has not been sued for concussions. So they have to look like they're trying.
Exactly.
I'm just curious here now. This might be totally random, but is it because they are actually not being paid professionals at the college level? Is that the reason why they haven't been sued? Do you guys know?
I mean, there's multiple reasons.
Well, no union to really push the cause forward.
Major reason.
That'd be a big
Gotcha.
reason.
It just popped in my head, and I was just like,
the whole PA was behind them and keeps pushing them, and the fact it's basically a workplace instead of just a school.
If there was an insane amount of concussions at Publix, you'd probably want them to do something
Or hands and fingers getting cut off. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So you would probably demand that your bosses do something to fix the problem.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're like in school hypothetically and your pen breaks and stabs you, or pencil breaks and stabs you, I mean,
Tough shit, you dumb college kid.
pretty much, yeah.
That's what you get, you stupid idiot.
We paid you for your schooling, so suck it up, Buttercup.
Pretty much. There you go. Got it.
Got it.
So I guess with that, we're going to move on to the good stuff. And,
Go Jags! I love it. I love
that was pretty good.
it.
Impressed.
I know.
I got a
That was a depressed Jaguar, but
I got a quick story.
we're hyped.
What you got?
Last week was our September 11th game, and I have this terrible problem where I always kind of chuckle to myself when I think of the Jaguars on September 11th, because a couple probably 6 years ago, I was listening to a game coming back from the store, and it was September 11th, and like when they come back from the radio breaks, they would just blast you with a bunch of Jaguar roars.
Oh, yeah.
And so it went, September 11th, never forget. Just boom, 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 boom. Somebody's in that booth just mashing that button.
Joe's in the booth going like 12 times.
Just killing it like he's playing Mortal Kombat. Button mashing like crazy.
That's awesome. They do love that Jaguar.
Yeah, me too.
Jason's into it right now. All right, well, I guess we'll do a look back on the game that was the Aaron Rodgers experience.
All right, can we make this really short? Because I'm tired of rehashing this game. It pisses me off. We didn't win. We lost. It's depressing.
Okay, for the sake of the conversation, I'll be the other fan. And
All right, let's listen.
you can't help but I want to be mad because it's year 4 and moral victories aren't really a thing anymore.
Well, that's what Gus said. No moral victories anymore.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
However, that is
there's a moral victory.
they look prepared.
Yeah,
They look bold. They went
They
for
did
it
look
for
bold.
4 different times on 4th down, and they
And
got 3
3.
of them.
Yeah, they did.
It's the most I've.
That was
It's-
very impressive.
yeah.
They really were.
I have to give kudos to the play calling on those couple instances, because they had never done something like that. I think in the past 3 years they may have done it 3 times in 3 years. I'm not
They
even
were
kidding.
I don't know the notes, but they were very gutsy on their play calling. On how
Yeah.
times they went 4 and 4th.
Yeah.
And the location.
Because one of those was on the other side of the 50.
it was well on the other side of the 50.
Yeah, I think it was the 42-yard line or something like that. I was like, oh, shikeys.
Yep.
And
Now you censor yourself.
Yeah. Good job.
But I was just kind of like, and of course they caught it, moved the chains, and I was like, whoa,
Yeah. So hype.
I'm unbelievably hyped.
And the offense, you had so much confidence when the offense was on the field that they were going to make something happen. Whereas, last year was fun, but there was a lot of 3 and outs. It'd be 3 and out,
Yes.
3 and out. Big pass to A-Rob. Next drive, 3 and out.
Very clunky.
It was, clunky. This year, he felt confident in the offense, and they had all those new pieces on defense.
Yep.
And they put a competent defense on the field against
did.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yes, they did.
Rodgers is still a magician.
We kept him under. We kept him.
But he was kept in check for the most part. I mean, he still got hits, especially when you give him a short field.
We kept him. We didn't give him very many short fields. I think
We started the game off with one. That
Yeah.
was huge.
Yeah, I think that was the only short field we gave him the whole.
Right, for the most part, yeah.
Right before the half, didn't they let a big kick return back?
Yeah.
Yeah, it came not nearly as short. It wasn't. I think it was still on their side of the field.
Yeah, but they
But
started
they're
at
still
the
there.
40 or
Yeah.
something.
That's
Yeah.
still
That's a short field for Aaron Rodgers.
Yes,
it's still pretty short
but
field.
what I'm saying is though,
and that led to a pretty quick score
but only 3 points, right?
before the half.
Yeah, it was 3 and 3.
That was a
no,
touchdown
dude.
run.
Okay.
That was
Okay, it was 6.
That was the
Devon House.
dagger.
Okay, it was 6
After
after.
Devon House.
Yeah, Davon House was covering him perfectly. I mean, the coaches even
No,
said
it was a
It's a little bit more than perfectly. He got pass interference on that call because he was hanging on the dude. And he still caught it. And it was crazy because Aaron Rodgers is getting pulled down by Ramsey, and so he's not planting his feet or anything.
It's photo-esque. I mean, I hate it, but it was photo-esque.
Yeah, I mean, it was unreal. It was right after Blake had just had his Blake Favre moment with that perfect dime to Julius.
That was beautiful.
Which I got 2 different Packer fans to high-five me for.
Well, because
when he did that, dude, I was pumped.
Because we all know
we're moving now.
We all know that most Packer fans here are Jaguar fans. So they just like the mask kid. We forgive you guys.
They were quiet. They were really quiet.
Oh yeah. When we went up, I think it was like 7 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. When we were up, like there wasn't a Packer fan around me that was like hyped.
Half of the ones around us left at halftime.
Yeah, they pretty much. I guess they were like, well, it's over. It's hot. Most of them, a lot of them were kind of passed out on the concourse.
Yeah, a ton of them.
That's only because it was insanely brutal.
It was pretty hot.
I thought I was going to die.
It was like hell on fire.
No hyperbole needed.
No.
It was 107 with the heat index.
It was so hot, in fact, that I had a guy make fun of me for pouring water on my head.
Well, he's the
idiot, though.
Yeah,
because
You were dry by the end of the game.
Yes, I was. I poured water on my head for about 3 quarters, too.
So what do you think about Miles not being on defense?
Oh, what do you think?
Coverage, but
what do you think of Miles Jack? Did he look great?
I didn't honestly expect him to be out there, but I mean,
well, you were right.
I mean,
because he wasn't out there.
Yeah, he was mystical, magical.
Because Gus Bradley had said he wasn't going to be out there, but I mean,
well, there you go. Gus said it.
So I mean, and they give me no reason to believe otherwise. But I mean, I feel like he's got to come out there within. If not by the 4th game, then we really got to start questioning it because he is a 2nd round draft pick.
Yeah,
and
he's pretty good.
Do we have
that luxury? No.
Well, do we have Do we have starters that are legitimately better than him for sure at all 3 positions?
No,
I don't know.
No, we don't.
I mean, he'd be a really great weak side linebacker. He's going to be a great middle linebacker.
But now the rumor on the field is now they want to take Talvin off and replace Jalen Ramsey.
Huh?
Oh, I'm sorry, Miles Jack. I'm sorry.
Okay. I started freaking out. What?
I'm sorry, Miles Jack. They want to take Talvin off and put Miles Jack in Talvin's place.
I've heard that too. That's dumb.
Well, because he's a horrible in coverage.
He's not horrible.
He's not terrible.
He's not good at all. I believe Move the Sticks did some videos of him, like little clips. Not very good.
Look,
there's a few times he overpursued.
I saw the Jets game too.
They say some bad times.
They say that that they'd much rather have Paz out there right now and Talvin off the field, which that confuses me.
The thing that they're saying about Talvin is that he over pursues and he's over aggressive.
Yes,
but I still saw him making some big plays.
He had a heck of a game on Sunday.
Yeah, when me and Jack rewatched the game, the thing that stood out to Jack the most when we were talking about it was he's like, "Who's that? Who's number 50? Who's that guy that's all over the place?" I'm like,
I just wonder,
meet the speed of our defense.
Well, I just wonder though if Miles Jack would be better than Talvin.
Well, I mean, my thing is, why would you want to take that speed off?
Well, maybe it's going in the wrong direction. I don't know.
No.
I mean, if he has a problem,
that's probably what's going to happen this week.
No,
that's not anything the coaching staff has said is going to happen this week.
They said that they're going to work him in at that weak side linebacker position.
No, they said
that's what they said.
They're trying to find a position for him, and he's learning 2 positions at once. Blah blah blah.
Yeah,
they didn't say he was hitting the field though.
Yes, I know they didn't say that, but that's probably what's going to happen within the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Well, I'm just saying it would be very dumb to start pulling Talvin out from that section.
Well,
Yeah, I agree.
well, they're not going to pull. They're not going to pull pause.
I mean,
Well,
At
here's
least not till halfway through the
hold on.
season.
Here's the concept. I'm just throwing it out there. I know I'm going out there. I'm going off on a limb here. This is very erratic. But maybe if you go to a standard 4-3, don't play nickel 75% of the game, you can put 3 linebackers out there. I know it's crazy. But
we
you
could do it.
can't. You can't do it. And Miles is pretty good in coverage.
Yes,
Pretty
we
daggone
know.
good.
We know Miles is.
Well, you have one that's really good in coverage, and 2 that are fairly all right. One that's still there, but you have 2 linebackers that are very, very good in speed.
and Tillman doesn't have this history of being terrible in
I
coverage.
know. That's why it shocked me.
So it's not like, oh, Telvin's always been bad in coverage.
It's not that he's really
The-
bad in coverage.
No, there's only 3 plays that they showed.
So that's
like
why
Justin
it's
said, he
overblown.
pursues.
And the reasoning for his like mishaps in coverage over the past couple, like with last year and the year before,
Yeah.
were that he was kind of compensating for trying to cover somebody else's responsibilities, and he wasn't staying on his responsibility.
That's
That's a
usually what it is.
coachable thing. You can fix
Yeah,
that
I
with
agree.
coaching if it's
I
not
agree.
awful coaching.
And most of it is exactly what you just
Because
said.
you want that speed. It can
Yeah,
close in, even if you're a little out of
he
position.
can make
Do
up
you
for
think?
his mistakes.
Do you think Miles
Exactly.
Jack? Do you think Miles Jack is better than Talvin? I guess that's the question we have to ask.
I think that they're different players.
They are different players. In coverage, he's better. But we still don't know
But
that for sure
but
because Telvin's been out there for 3 years.
But I also heard this one too in Twitter that that you pull Talvin for 3rd downs and put Miles Jack in on 3rd downs. I don't know if that makes it any better.
No, I think you're pulling the wrong person.
I mean,
Um,
I do too, to be honest. But
Whatever.
But why don't they want to pull him? What do they have? What are they so afraid of pulling? Excuse me, guys.
Pelesny?
Yeah, Paul was listening. What scares them?
he's got a high energy. He's got a motor. I mean, in some ways, gotten better as he's gotten older. But his coverage,
Wait, he's gotten a lot worse as he's gotten.
That's what I was
older.
about to say. His coverage is still.
And those ways are
Yeah.
3rd and long. Get him off the field.
Yes.
That's not where he's good.
First and second, he's golden. I'm fine with him.
But my
Third,
but
get him
my
out of
question to you guys is what
and he does not have the speed that Telvin.
what could
and
possibly be
Miles does.
scaring them into holding back from pulling the trigger?
That I cannot answer.
We can't answer why this coaching staff does what it does. Remember when they benched Devon House for no real reason?
Yeah, just
Only to put him back in
just send a message.
just because it was going so terribly?
They
Like,
do very erratic things.
I'm not here to explain away our coaching situation.
I mean, we
because
have
I don't
mystical
agree with a
positions
lot of
that
it.
really don't make much sense. But
Like
that's another
Villano.
story.
Yeah, just put Miles Jack at Lotto.
Yeah, and then Gus Bradley talked about that too because I believe JP Shatterick asked him about that. Or no, it wasn't JP Shatterick. It's the Monday night show. It's
Jaguars Monday.
yeah, Jaguars Monday. They asked him about it, and he goes, well, he's not as physical as Dan Scuda. Well, Dan Scuda didn't do crap last week. Let's cut the BS. Did Dan Scuda even record a tackle?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure he did, but still, Dan Scooter's not.
It's kind of hard to get through a game as a linebacker and not registering a tackle.
Yeah, I think honestly, I think he recorded a half a tackle, one half.
He wasn't very impressive. I'll be honest.
No. So
He
I mean,
hasn't been.
well, and they said there's a pretty decent size height difference between Dan Scuda and Miles Jack. I don't know.
Strong side is probably the least ideal spot for somebody like Miles Jack. That's probably the worst position for him.
Well, like we've been discussing here for the last 5-10 minutes, we need him on the field regardless.
It's not the ideal spot. Plus, I mean, you want him more in a coverage area.
Because he's just so special as a cover. That's why you took him. That's the whole reason you
Yes,
took
that
him.
is exactly why you took him.
Yep, I agree.
I don't know. It's one of those things. If he's not on the field, within the next couple of games, I'll really be questioning the coaching staff even more than I already do.
But this is a good problem to have.
Yeah,
because
it is.
after this game, we're talking about like why we couldn't get why we couldn't get him on the field, and the biggest complaint I've heard this week is our third string running back sucks. So like, as far as talent goes on this team, we've come so far at this point.
Yeah, we really have.
Oh yeah,
we've got a lot less to complain about. Honestly, we got a situation where I don't think Dan Scoot is all that awesome, but he's a good enough player. Telvin Smith, I think, is a good player that with the right coaching could be great.
Yes.
And Paz is a good player. So I mean, like we've got a problem of talent. Like we've got talent in that position.
Yeah, just the way it's organized.
It's great.
I'm not complaining about the amount of talent for sure.
I remember the severe lack of talent, especially at linebacker.
Just a few years ago.
Just a few years ago.
But touch on something real quick, because how bad the officiating was.
I don't even want to talk about it. It was bad. There was bad calls all over the place. There was just as many bad non-calls as there were calls.
Yeah. You really think so?
Well,
yeah.
According to people or someone, Gus sent in 23 questionable calls and got back 16 that said they were missed.
Out of 23, that's pretty dang bad.
That's still a pretty high number.
Including one that would have been a 3rd and 1. That one that was a 3rd and 1 to Rashad. That was missed.
That was a bad miss. There was a couple bad misses.
And that was going to have been a 1st and goal.
A couple bad misses on A-Rob.
Yeah.
One of the worst ones was a call that they made on SIP.
Yes. That was a horrible call.
I mean, he didn't. I mean, that set up their touchdown at the end of the first half.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He didn't even touch him.
No,
but he was in his area.
Yeah, he was in his area.
And he wasn't wearing green.
And he didn't look at the ball. But he didn't touch him, so I don't think it mattered. Because the guy that was standing next to me, he goes, why couldn't you just look at the ball? Sip, you're a goddamn liability. And I was
He's right, he is.
It's pretty accurate. Let's be real.
And I was just...
And if he did look at the ball, it's probably not called.
Yes, and that's my thoughts on it too. After you're watching the replay, slow motion across the world's largest video boards, you're just like, yep, he didn't touch him. He tried. He actually tried. He actually legitimately tried to catch up.
Tried to do pass, but he couldn't.
Yeah. He just couldn't get there because his angles.
And the second you're like starting to feel bad, oh, poor Sip, all you got to do is just watch when he just didn't tackle that dude on that screen pass. He just didn't even put his arms around him. He kind of ran into him.
Yeah.
I don't know what was happening.
What was it when he went to tackle? I'm
Eddie
pretty
Lacy?
sure it was him when he went to tackle Lacy at the gut.
Yeah, you don't tackle Lacy at the gut.
Yeah, you got to go for the legs for that guy because you're not going to be able to wrap him up.
And he didn't. He didn't wrap him up.
No, he got trucked.
As we saw.
I gotta say, I heard all week how a lot of people were just terrified that Eddie Lacy was going to run all over us. Eddie Lacy looked bad.
He looked horrible.
He was pretty rough.
Let's cut the BS.
I mean, he is pretty huge still.
He's not very small, so I can't imagine him being 20 or 30 pounds heavier than that.
If they, like you said, if they need a pinch hit at a left tackle or left guard.
He still looks like a swing tackle.
Yeah, he can still get in there.
Yeah, I seriously doubt he gets a contract re-up once his contract's up there.
It's so weird that him and Terrence Knighton have the same problem.
They love pot roast, I guess.
Well, one of them, I mean, there's been plenty of defensive tackle and guard kind of guys who have weight issues. How are you a running back and you can't stay skinny? I don't know.
Well, I think what you should do is you should do like the Homer Simpson thing where you get on the treadmill and you put the donut in front of them and just keep on leading them. That's the only way. That's the only way.
I'm pretty sure that'd be a mad Eddie Lacy right there. So I guess with that, we'll bid adieu to the Green Bay Packers and move on to the San Diego Superchargers, which aren't so super anymore.
Well, I mean, they still do have Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, he's been a magician. Another magician.
Who Greg Olson said, I believe it was Greg Olson said that he might want to get his measurements for the Hall of Fame his Hall of Fame
Jacket.
jacket, which I thought that was like putting the carriage before the horses, but that's just me.
Screw him.
Hey, Philip Rivers had a good career, but you look back at the quarterbacks of his era, and he's what, 5th?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah, off top, somewhere in there.
And but yes, he probably will get to the Hall of Fame. I don't think he's a first ballot by any means, but let's cut the BS. I mean, they are hurting. They're walking in limping worse than us after the first game.
Well, the biggest thing that's hurting them, biggest thing that's hurting Rivers for the Hall of Fame is no rings.
Well, I mean, yes, but you and I both know that rings count, but they're not the deciding factor.
No, they're definitely not the deciding factor, but they definitely count.
He ain't no Tom Brady. He ain't no Drew Brees. He ain't no Peyton Manning.
No, he isn't no Ben Roethlisberger.
But he's always
no
going
Eli.
to be concealed.
And he's always going to beat the Jaguars, which is the problem we got. We have beaten Phillip Rivers once, I think.
Yes.
I think that's it.
I believe just one time.
So,
and I don't think ever on the East Coast, right? Or West Coast, I'm sorry.
West Coast.
Fuck. Never won in San Diego, period.
No.
I don't think. Have we won in San Diego?
I don't believe so. I believe they've all been here in Duval.
We've only won 2 games all time in the West Coast. We're not good on the West Coast. But we don't go out there because why would you do that to yourself?
No,
I don't know, but it's super irritating.
They've all been here in Duval.
It's super irritating, and I usually my tough takes and my hard takes are usually out of anger, but I don't take. I mean, it sucks that Keenan Allen tore his ACL, but I am very happy he did.
Wow, that's rough.
Because like I said, I don't wish it upon any players. I might say I do when I'm watching the game, like die Eddie Lacy, but it's just out of pure anger. It's not out of any disheartening to the player by any means. But
I would remind you he didn't play last year either, though.
Yeah,
so it's not like
this
is a big advantage over last year.
And they still slaughtered us.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to say. It's not.
That's what I'm saying. Is I don't think it makes a giant change.
Yeah.
What does? Because their first round draft pick this year isn't even playing.
What makes the difference is not San Diego, it's Jacksonville.
Right.
This is definitely not the team they played last year.
No.
There's a lot of improvement.
Yeah, we can break down the roster. We know there's improvement, but what changes? Is it going to be the mentality or the swagger they roll in with, or what? I mean,
What's going to change is we're going to be the team exploiting tight ends over the middle.
Yeah,
we're going to be the team shaming.
Yes, because I think
they're the crappy team.
Because I think their number 2 corner or number 1 corner is out this week. Or DNP did not practice, I think.
Do you know who their free safety is?
Yeah, we drafted him 2 years ago.
Dwight Lowry.
Oh, that's a throwback.
Who was good in Jacksonville.
He's well traveled.
However, he was losing his speed in Jacksonville. That was 2012.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like him and I remember when we signed him and Mincy, and
I was stoked when we signed him.
Man, that is the epitome of the dark ages.
It was.
It's like, look how stoked we were to sign Jeremy Mincy and Dwight Lowry.
Oh, Lowry.
Man.
And then we cut him the next year.
Yeah.
And then,
yeah, he replaced Weddle, I guess, huh?
Ish.
Well, I mean, as much as you can. Whatever.
He's in the same position on the field. I guess based on where Weddle was when he was done, then yeah, I guess. But I don't see a lot on that defense. It's like, oh, we better watch out for that.
Yeah,
well, better watch out for Manti Te'o.
All right. Do you think that we have a chance at running the football more than 27 yards?
Yes, because
that's exactly what I want to hear.
Yeah,
I just wanted a little more confidence.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even no Ivory. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
The San Diego's not a Green Bay by any stretch.
Oh, I'm not comparing them, but I mean, I'm just stating first. That's the only thing we got to go by. One game.
And Green Bay sold out to stop the run.
Yes.
Which is kind of a weird
I
play.
was weird.
But I mean, like they were run blitzing a fair amount. That was their plan.
They were stacking the box towards the end of the game. I definitely saw that.
I guess their world of game plan party, like ours was, probably prepared to have Ivory and Yeldon.
Was that the most misleading game for running ever? Because I remember halfway through the game, I felt like we're running the ball pretty well.
Yeah, it definitely did.
But then you look at the stats, you're like, whoa.
It threw me for a loop because actually Justin's the one that pointed it out to me. I thought we were running pretty well, and then Justin's like, how many yards do you think we have? I went, I don't know. I thought we had probably like $1 something. I seriously did. And he's like, no, look at the yardage.
35 when we looked at it.
Wow.
Well, what's crazy is I guess the amount of lateral, like the running sideways, east to west instead of north and south, I guess if you could count that yardage, I guess we would have doubled it, supposedly. I don't know, the guys in the booth said that. And I was just starting to laugh whenever they, because I guess the defense, Green Bay's defense is pretty stout against the run. That's what
they're pinning their ears on.
But I mean, moving back to San Diego, I mean, there's nothing really there besides Phillip Rivers that really freaking scares you.
Well, there's less and less because their
Every
offensive
year.
line is still not good.
No, the line's not good.
Maybe this is our year.
I mean, Bosa's just going to stand there and kind of
Hold
wave.
the clipboard.
He's going to just kind of observe.
I don't think he's playing.
No, he's not.
I think he's officially out.
He's out. They said he might not even play next week.
Melvin Gordon's on the active roster, but you may as well put him on the bench too. Well, he had 2 touchdowns.
He did, yes. His first 2 career touchdowns.
Good for that guy.
That is good.
I'm just glad Jacksonville didn't get him. I think he's probably going to murder us because I'm saying all this.
I don't think so.
But I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
Because we held Eddie Lacy to 56 yards or something.
That's a much slower back.
He was thinking about chicken and waffles or something.
Probably was.
I mean, he was thinking about.
But Melvin Gordon's a little
Burger King
shiftier
or something.
Well, Melvin Gordon's shiftier. I understand it.
I think we'll have no problem with him though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't think so either.
Keep selling on Gates, and that's pretty much.
Well, I always assume that Gates gets his, even though he's 35 years old.
Yeah, he's
up there.
But just because
that's a thoroughbred right there. He's been there.
The only reason I assume, because we've always been horrible on tight ends for years. But I know
That's why you need Jack.
Touche. I like that. But I know we beefed up our secondary a little bit, but I just don't see it on paper, and in my head I can't fathom us losing out there. This time I can't.
Well,
I am going to this game expecting to freaking win and win by at least a touchdown.
And to make it clear going into it, we are without Ivory and Prince of Makamura.
Yes,
Which Makamura played a heck of a game last week.
He did.
Yes.
He balled out.
And I did not know this because I was not really paying attention, I guess, during this time. But I did not realize that Jalen only played his position during the hamstring pull that he had.
Yeah.
I did not realize that. I don't know what transpired that didn't make me realize that, but he's playing nickel about 80% of the time out there.
It's a great game to get Jalen out.
Yeah,
wide at a starting spot because they don't have anything that's super scary at wide receiver. When Keenan Allen's gone, it's like there's nothing scary there.
Yeah, I can't even think of any of their wide receivers.
They got a little guy.
Woodhead.
No, he's not a wide receiver. He's a running back, bro.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Well, he's pretty much like a wide receiver.
Yes.
He's out of the backfield. That's kind of got a lot of times,
backward threat.
But they don't have a whole lot that scares you.
I'm trying to think. What was the guy that ate us up last year?
Oh.
See, that tells you something. No one can remember the receiving core right now because that's where they're at.
And that don't change much because Phillip Rivers can work with.
No, that's the whole thing. Rivers can do damage with whoever he's got.
And I did not know this, but it may have been just a BS lie on Twitter. But I guess past Keenan Allen, he only calls his wide receivers by their number. He doesn't call them by their name. I don't know how true that is, but I thought that was like very toolish of him. If that's fact,
I could definitely see him doing that from. Yeah.
I was like, dang, man. So I'm just number 16. All right.
He's famous for being a douchebag.
Yeah.
He's famous for being a douchebag and for constantly knocking out kids. Like,
I think
he's knocking up his wife. Like,
and his wife's still pretty hot. I gotta give him.
I think she's pregnant all the time.
Yeah, I mean she's the San Diego Clown Car.
So Travis Benjamin, was that the guy?
Oh, was he out there? Oh, I forgot he did go out there. Yeah, he used to be in Cleveland.
The little guy.
Well, yeah, he was a Cleveland guy. I guess he signed up. I forgot he signed up there in free agency.
And then I think they have another wide receiver out there too. But
I imagine they have a couple.
They have a roster. They have like a whole roster of players, but they don't have any that scare me.
No. I mean, for once, and maybe we're just being cocky and homers, but I honestly believe we're at a point to where
we should go out there and bend them over the barrel collectively and show them the ocean, I guess, because they can't see the 50 states.
Well, no, you just bend them back the other way and show them the rest of the 50 states going back east.
Oh, I like it. I like where you're going.
Yeah,
I like where you're going with that.
You're right there on the coast. You just show them back east.
Yeah, you turn them back.
Yeah.
I got it.
Facing towards Duval.
Yeah, I like it.
But, that's pretty much that.
Last time I felt like we should win, we did not. But this is a very different team.
Yes, I'm very confident in this team.
And this team, that we're playing is better than the Colts team I expected us to beat last year in Indy. But this Jaguars team is much better than the Jaguars team that rolled in there.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
So
San Diego's not ready for this. But the only thing is, I'll say they are going to be a pissed off San Diego team because they blew a 27-10 lead in Arrowhead, I believe.
Yes. And
that's on them. I mean, but
one other thing I want to touch on before we wrap this bad boy.
Oh yeah, we got a couple more pieces.
Okay, I might be stealing your thunder, Clay. But what was the deal with the pass rush last week? I was under the impression that we were going to come out, we were going to sling Rodgers to the ground a couple 100,000 times and make him like he was dead. But that did not happen.
It didn't. And
No.
I saw a play. Gus Bradley had an explanation after the game, and my first thought was like, "Well, obviously that's bullshit."
I know that's kind of what I thought too.
And he said that they had a scheme to kind of keep Aaron Rodgers in the pocket and contain him,
which for the most part they did.
For the most part, they kept him there.
I think I remember two plays.
I saw a play. And it made me realize, okay, that's exactly what's happening here. It's not that our guys can't get home at all, which might be the case. We'll find out this week.
Right.
But there's a play where Aaron's looking for, Rodgers is looking for his guy, and Unique Ngakoue could easily, it looked like he could easily get around the tackle if he wanted to. But he was playing peekaboo. He's looking around the left shoulder of the tackle, looking around the right shoulder of the tackle, making sure he knew exactly where Rodgers was because he was trying to keep him in the pocket, making sure he didn't scramble for another touchdown. So I think that it was legitimate.
That's my question. And do you think that we'll have a pass rush? Because even though Rivers can get the ball off, he's got one of the quickest releases in the NFL.
Oh yeah.
But he's not nearly as mobile as Aaron Rodgers.
I really loved.
It
almost worked.
Be fairly mobile.
It almost worked. I really loved the Jalen Ramsey corner blitz.
Yes,
I really love that.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
So do you think that we see this pass rush in some sort of form?
I think we see more of it. I do.
Okay.
I do, but I do want to see more interior pressure.
Well, I felt like there was way more interior pressure just to get him up.
Because I'm pretty sure Malik wants to get reacquainted with his buddy Phillip.
Yeah, I want to see at least one time this
year. He's had
year.
pretty good success.
At least one time this year, I want to see a formation where they've got Senderic and Malik in the middle.
They did it last week. They did it last week.
When did they do that?
I don't know, but they talked about it.
More of that.
Because Malik now is on 10-10. I want to say on Mondays or Tuesdays. From 12 to 12:30. Okay, 12:30 to 1, and that's when they talked about it. So I mean, they did it. I honestly really wasn't paying attention at that point to that particular part of the game. I was more probably like watching what freaking wide receiver is about to catch the dang ball,
Right.
for them, or Eddie Lacy or somebody. But I don't know. I just question, the pass rush and wonder if we're going to see something a little bit more.
Man, I hope so. I guess we'll slide over to the last couple of things here. Chris Ivory, of course, as everyone knows, was in the hospital. He's finally gotten out, and he released a statement the other day. In his statement, he says, quote, "I returned to the team this morning to rejoin my coaches and teammates as we continue to prepare for the San Diego Chargers on Sunday. This past weekend was a challenging time for me, my family, and me because of an emergency medical condition that developed while I was with my team at the hotel. I am now grateful to be back at the facility and able to focus on the game I love." And basically said a special thanks to everyone at Baptist and appreciate everyone's sensitivity for the time and personal matters.
Yeah, so we're never going to know what the deal is.
Pretty much.
But I don't care.
No.
I don't care what's wrong with him.
I just want him back on the field by Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm just glad he's not deathly ill.
No.
We lost a running back or something.
I'm just glad he kind of got everything kind of squared away there.
We've had that kind of luck before.
We do.
Yes,
we do.
I believe Toby Gerhardt, first game of the season, he
just all kinds
breaks
of
his ankle or something 2 years ago.
Aaron Campman, LaRon Robinson.
Yeah.
Remember when we lost Russell Allen forever? And remember when we signed Clint Sessions and then he got a concussion and
it's like
he was
three of
gone
them
forever.
in a row.
He got him before he even really did anything.
Yeah. I mean, we've got so many free agents we bring in, and like, well, I'm sure he would have been good.
He could have been, would have been, should have been.
Man, Aaron Campman, that was such a tease, wasn't it? Like, we bring him in here off of ACL, and then he breaks his other ACL. Wow.
Let's not jinx that one. So, anyways, I guess we'll wrap it up with this. Here's some good news. Forbes says the Jaguars' value moved from 1.4 to 1.95.
Talk about a great investment.
Shad Daddy is making bank.
Yeah.
He's going to keep doing the same deal. Like, he's found a way to grow the value of his team. He's just going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely good. Jaguars had $344 million in revenue, which is somewhere between the Titans and the Chiefs.
Which that's kind of crazy.
I don't know how the Titans are honestly making anything close to that. It's got to be
because they have a lot
figure.
of mayonnaise logo stuff.
I like that. It's probably accurate. It's probably quite accurate. Plus, they have a whole state to themselves and like regional areas.
How long has it been Nissan Field?
Just this year, I believe.
I think that was
Maybe
that's
2
a
years.
new contract, so that probably bumped them up the list.
That is probably very true.
But
So, I believe we're 26 on the list though now.
they're probably gonna jump up the value when they sell the team because they're gonna sell that team.
You really think so? Because
Yeah.
I've been kind of sort of not keeping up with it, but keeping up with it a little bit. Like the grandson wants it, but he's a little younger. He's like about our age, and but his parents don't want it.
I was a fan of the Jaguars from during that dark age period, and I know exactly what it looks like when you're trying to sell a team.
Yep.
You think Mike Mularkey is the coach to get you through that?
He's got
He's
a
a
get through
coach.
coach all written all over him.
He's a get through coach for sure.
I love it.
Uh,
I love it. All right, Tennessee sucks to suck, bud.
the year before the ownership changed in Buffalo, guess who the coach was? The year before they cleaned out the place in Jacksonville,
Yeah.
that was the guy.
Yeah, he's your hitter. He's your pinch hitter.
He's the guy you bring in to clean out the place for the new guy.
Man,
So
it's kind of rough.
Sucks to suck. I guess we had 2 of them tonight.
Yep. Mike
But-
Malarkey's always there.
He always knows where to go.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a Titans thing. Who knows? It's just something Jeff Fisher left in the building.
Well, Jeff Fisher's managed to keep his jobs both times.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
I don't know how he keeps doing it. But yeah, I agree with Justin. The Titans are eventually going to be solid in some fashion.
They're going to redo their uniforms this coming off season. If they have
Question.
super generic, cheap uniforms, you know what's happening.
Dude, that would be
Because
money.
it happened to the Jaguars.
Yep.
They lowered cost every way possible. They didn't bother with high-priced free agents, just like the Titans. They're selling team.
Yeah, especially you could see the handwriting, especially when those really generic Kmart uniforms.
Yes, I do remember
Those
those.
were really crummy.
But my only question is, do you think if they sell the team, do you think the team stays
In Nashville?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm pretty confident.
Yeah, that experiment's gone really well for the NFL.
Yeah, it has. It has.
Okay, I was just curious.
Nashville, no, and I've got to compliment Nashville on that one. It's actually
Well, because they got a whole
they've been a
state.
very
They're
good
not,
base.
they're not sharing it with two other teams or 3 teams. So to speak.
right. Well, yeah, I mean, and the thing is, they got a whole region. It's in a more of a regional team instead of just a city.
They did a good job of selling it, just like
Right.
the Panthers.
Right.
They sell it as like a statewide thing. Although I don't think that works as well in Carolina as it does in Nashville or Tennessee. Because if you're from
Well, Memphis
the
hates it.
state,
Yeah.
you're kind of a Titans fan.
Right.
Whereas like South Carolina doesn't care about the Panthers.
They did for a while,
Nah.
but it didn't really work out too well.
Nah, it didn't take.
I know early on they did because I know some people. I knew some people that were in Carolina and lived in South Carolina.
And as you may know by politics,
Yeah.
you know, Charlotte and the rest of North Carolina ain't really on the same page.
No.
No, they're not.
So-
That's a whole nother discussion.
That's another discussion.
That's why we might get the ACC championship game in Jacksonville again.
Hey!
Hey, positives.
But
Yeah.
It's another suck for another night.
Yeah.
But I guess with that, we'll bid this adieu. And everyone, this is Till Apocalypse.
This is JLove132.
We're doing Twitter handles. This is Justin the Red.
And we're signing off. Follow us on Boldcastify and Boldcastify Sports. This has been a Boldcastify football show, episode 10.